So Overwatch might be the latest game coming to Switch in terms of being an older game that's still relevant today, ported to the platform. We've seen a number of these titles, the most recent being Diablo III, and honestly, I applaud it. Bring it on. We have Civilization 6 coming up, and all of these games, to me, just make a lot of sense in a portable form. Well, we have a game similar to Overwatch already on Switch in the free-to-play Paladins. So where would Overwatch fit? Well, Overwatch generally is the more popular of these arena-style games in comparison to Paladins, and is made by Blizzard. Now, obviously, with Diablo III coming over, there's been questions what's next from Blizzard on Switch, and game director Jeff Kaplan of the Overwatch crew had this to say about bringing Overwatch to Switch. He says, "Our philosophy has always been we want as many players playing Overwatch as possible, and we want to reach as many possible Overwatch players as are out there. We will always explore a platform if we think we could make it viable, both the technology and the business relationship. We would love to do it. We don't have anything to announce or any plans with Nintendo or Switch at this time, but it's something we're very open-minded about." So what does this mean? It means that Overwatch is not currently in development for Switch, right? So, okay, stop the presses, who really cares? But what it does mean is that it's in serious consideration and could be one of those games that just comes up in late 2019 like Diablo III if they decide to port it sometime before the end of this year or in the spring. It's something they are considering. It's something they are consistently asked about. And I think Overwatch and Hearthstone are the two games that Blizzard has that really make a lot of sense to bring over to Switch. Hearthstone, in fact, is already on phones. There's no reason that shouldn't be on Switch already, in my opinion. But yeah, it looks like Overwatch could very well be Blizzard's next game on Switch. Obviously, we would all like it to be Diablo 4 if Diablo 4 exists. But yeah, I'm pretty happy about this. I played a lot of Overwatch myself on PC, and I've played Paladins. There's nothing against Paladins. Paladins is great. Some people actually love Paladins way more than Overwatch. I think 5J Gaming, who you see stream here on weekends, is one of the proponents or one of the big supporters for Paladins over Overwatch. And obviously being a free-to-play game has a lot to do with it. But I really enjoyed my time with Overwatch and probably would play a little bit more of Overwatch on Switch than anything else. Now, the Blizzard game I want to see come over is World of Warcraft, but that's a entirely new conversation to talk about there. And I think what's interesting here is we are seeing an influx of games on Switch that are multiplayer games, online multiplayer games at that, whether or not they require the Nintendo Switch Online service. Diablo III does require the Nintendo Switch Online service for online multiplayer, but not every game does, like Fortnite, etc. So I think it's interesting because I see a lot of deterrence for a lot of different game delivery methods and different games on the platform. Oh, we don't need the Call of Duties. We don't need this. We don't need that. Oh, we don't need game streaming. Game streaming's the devil because, you know, if your internet disconnects, you can't play the game. And it's like, well, I mean, a lot of the popular games on Switch you can't play without an internet connection anyways. So what's the difference? But that's neither here nor there. I'm not here to debate that. I think it's just good to see Switch get more support like this. Now, Shintaro Furukawa did hint during the investors Q&A that there are more games coming from third-party developers to Switch that, you know, in 2019 that we're not aware of course. And I don't know if that just means more ports, like potentially Overwatch or some other game, or if it means more day-and-date releases. Is Ubisoft going to have the next Assassin's Creed coming to Switch now that this next one coming out, whether or not it's next year or not, it would be one that would have had Switch in mind for its development? Or, you know, what about the next Call of Duty? The next Call of Duty potentially could have had Switch in mind for its development. Well, the last two started development before Switch released. The current one would have started development during Switch's first year, or, you know, the one coming out next year, that is. So I'm very curious to see if now that we're going to be heading into 2+ years on the market, 3 years where people could seriously consider Switch, if now in 2019 is when we start seeing third-party games massively supporting Switch. Yes, Shintaro Furukawa did tell us we're not going to get everything. Of course we're not going to get everything. And he even mentioned that, for the games that Switch can't handle, that's what game streaming could potentially solve. The Odysseys of the world that we've seen already, the Resident Evil 7s. Although, I feel like Resident Evil 7 in particular, they probably could have got to run fairly well on Switch if they wanted to, but I don't know. Maybe that's a conversation for a different day. It is Capcom. I think the big thing we're looking for from Capcom at this point is a new Monster Hunter game for Switch. Since they're not bringing over Monster Hunter Worlds, I did mention they're working on a new Monster Hunter game for Switch. So it'll be interesting to see what's next for Switch owners for Monster Hunter after Double Cross. But I'm just excited in general to see more third-party games on Switch, old ports or new games. I obviously prefer new games, especially day-and-date releases. We know we're getting Doom Eternal on here that's supposedly going to be day-and-date. And whatever the next Wolfenstein game is, we don't know if they're talking about Youngblood or a brand-new Wolfenstein. But either way, Switch is supposed to get the next Wolfenstein as well. So I'm just excited to see what's coming beyond all the exclusives, because 2019 is already pretty jam-packed with exclusives. So to have the exclusives and then all of a sudden start to get major third-party support could make 2019 the best year for Switch yet. And that's saying something, because a lot of people consider 2017 the biggest year ever for Switch for very good reasons, because all the first-party games from Nintendo were major games. And then, you had some nice third-party exclusive games in there, like Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle, Fire Emblem Warriors, stuff like that, Golf Story. But it would be nice to see that get topped in 2019. I mean, we already have 3 system sellers in 2019 for sure, in Animal Crossing, Fire Emblem Three Houses, and a new generation of Pokemon. But it would be interesting to see what else is in there from third parties to help fill in supposed gaps. I mean, already there's like 7 exclusives coming to Switch next year, but there's still going to be some gaps in there, so it'll be nice to get some major third-party support along the way. Let me know if you are excited for the potential of Overwatch on Nintendo Switch. I also want to remind you, if you haven't entered yet, we are giving away a Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Nintendo Switch bundle. There's a Gleam.io link down in the description to enter. Subscribe for more content. Hit that like button if you happen to enjoy this. I know not everyone's into these like single news posts, voiceover gameplay stuff. This wasn't actually a planned video I was going to do today. I was going to save this news for Monday for Prime News, but I decided to get this one out because I wasn't sure if I was going to have time to wrap up the one video I wanted to do today, but we'll see. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you in the next one.